Welcome to the Flashpoint podcast. I am Wally West, maybe one of the fastest men alive, because you know what? Every week there seems to be another speedster, and Barry keeps holding me back. That's right. Barry says he's the fastest man alive, but all he does is keep me back, and I can run fast. Welcome to our podcast. Dum dum dum.
Wally can really run from commitment.
Yeah. I am Tyler, and with me is, as you heard, Zach.
Yo.
And the legend himself, Phil.
In his own mind.
All right. So this episode,
my favorite villains.
We have Gorilla City.
Wow.
So,
and that was for all our gorilla listeners from Gorilla City.
And what's great about Gorilla City is as soon as they're like, all right, we put it on Earth too, it all makes sense. You can get away with anything.
All right. And for some reason, the gorilla statues are holding lightning bolts. Okay.
Well, that's from that's in the comics.
It is. I've only seen because I've seen Gorilla City a few times in comics, and the ones I remember, there was more futuristic looking.
They've done some. It's more of the more recent comics. I mean, you got to remember, a lot of the writers and producers are going to what's current. So at the time of conception, you had New 52 ideas and stuff.
New should be a four-letter word.
Yeah, called Dr. Manhattan, but that's another story. So one thing about this episode that jumped out at me, I was wondering, A, will Jesse be able to see Savitar? Maybe she'll help with that. But like, just the whole Jesse and Wally relationship, man. Like, when he's like, I got power, she's like, oh.
Well, I think the explanation is like she realizes that's why he hasn't been talking with her. And here's one thing I think about. There is, by this point in the show, obviously it's a little difficult to have a relationship when you're on different like alternate Earths, but they can travel in between. So I mean, it is weird, but they're speedsters and they have access to transport stuff. So it really would be the same for them as dating. It really wouldn't do anything. You could see each other every week, every day if you really wanted to.
Yeah, I was kind of like, she's like, you stopped. I'm like, how were they communicating being on alternate Earths at first?
Remember, the thing Cisco gave Supergirl, the little gadget the one offline was it's a breacher, but you can also use it for communication.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he gave that to her. But did Wally and Jesse have one of those at the beginning of the season?
You can imply that, and you remember the message to find a new Wells. That was a message, so communication between Earths is possible.
Mm-hmm. It's true.
I could just be listening and going, "Oh, that's a good point. We should remember that."
So here's another question for you. We'll use this to work backwards. Who opened Jesse's breach for her to come to Earth 1?
They have a machine at their Star Labs.
Yeah,
so why doesn't Grodd? So why doesn't Grodd use the machine? Why does he need the others? So I don't know.
Another thing we learned, apparently, and I remember none of us said this. Sending a super intelligent telepathic gorilla to Gorilla City was a bad idea.
Well, yeah, because Grodd's always trying to manipulate the other gorillas.
I got to admit though that one thing they got right, and they got Grodd right. They really did.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. As soon as Grodd came out and tried to tell his story to Flash, I was kind of like, something isn't right with the gorilla.
At that point, I was like, okay, because they were like that close to making Grodd anti-hero, which could work if that's the way they were going, but obviously they went the other, which works for the character. One thing I gotta say about this episode is it's weird because I liked a lot of it, but there's so much I want to nitpick. It's a weird mix for this week. Like, Barry and Julian, like, because I love Julian geeking out about going to an alternate Earth. By the way,
yes. Are we going to Planet of the Apes? We're going to Planet of the Apes.
But
Indiana Albert.
Apparently, in Central City, pretty much the two only metahuman CSI experts can just up and leave whenever they want.
Yeah, they're in a conference in Bloodhaven.
Sure.
A conference that you could probably look up and research and need proof that you went to.
Mm-hmm. And we got yet another role for Tom Cavanaugh. Mouthpiece for a gorilla.
Tom Cavanaugh.
God.
The man who, he loves it. He loves going to work because he's like, what do I get to do now?
Yeah.
Oh, God, that was so painful. Oh, go away. I can baby. It's like, okay. Even though Grodd doesn't sound like that, but...
Yeah, I couldn't quite figure out why Grodd was, talking through people when, he would be talking through them, and then at the end of their sentence, he would just show up.
CGI,
he would just show up.
CGI budget.
Yeah, obviously. But here's the thing. If you're gonna... And that's fine. I understand the whole concept of... Because that's a lot of CGI. And Grodd CGI, though, it looks fine, though. But if you're going to do that, why does Grodd have to walk into the room at all?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, save it for a really good shot, Well, just talking about budget, did you notice when Wally and Jesse both take off to run, the way they shot it was you saw HR get hit with the air cannon and you heard it, and then when they showed up at the bank robbery, you didn't see them enter, you just saw, you were on the other point of view.
The gorilla.
So, first of all, can we say dumbest bank robber people ever?
Oh, yeah.
What are you going to do? You have two people who just came to you out of nowhere. One is Kid Flash, and the other one you can deduce might be able to remove fast, too. So, what are you going to do?
It's those same guys who shoot at Superman and Supergirl, No,
it's not the guys who shoot at Superman, Supergirl. It's the guys that after they run out of bullets, throw the gun.
Yeah.
Or punch them. Or try to punch them.
I think they make fun of that really good.
What? I don't understand. What? Why? I mean, of course Garage set a trap, because it kind of seemed convoluted. But
speaking of trap, apparently when these guys are caught in a trap, they don't do anything. It's it's a trap. Should we react? No.
So Barry gets shot with darts and taken down.
God. Yeah, I've seen a lot of posts. Someone even made a meme: man who can dodge a bullet, but a dart is his great weakness.
Yeah, twice.
It's weak, but all I can say is he didn't see it coming, and they're more silent than bullets and a gun.
And I can get behind that. What I'm trying to figure out is, so was it the psychic abilities or what that was dampening their powers?
They didn't ever explain it.
No.
Because obviously when Flash was in the arena, he had his powers. Mm-hmm. So was it the cages themselves? Because if so...
Barry say, I don't think it's the cage.
He said, I don't think. Doesn't mean he's right.
Well, it's a good thing for them not to explain.
You know what I'm saying? Because Cisco and Barry's powers were taken out, but obviously Caitlin was like, ta-da, mine worked.
Yeah, I have notes about that too. Okay.
I think it's Grodd's mental powers because, why would her powers work and theirs wouldn't? Because he didn't know she had powers.
But if he has mental powers, you would think he'd be able to detect, hey, what's up with you guys? But that's one nitpick. Here's another. Okay, her powers, they don't say, I guess that's, if again, they didn't really explain it, so that's another thing. But if her powers did work, why didn't she just ice the bars?
Mm-hmm. Well, they have to go through the whole fake death thing.
And speaking of the fake death, it's so weird. As much as I like parts of this episode, the nitpicks are just... Okay, Grodd is telepathic. Mm-hmm. Now, while, of course, the whole cold thing, his body functions would slow, he wouldn't be brain dead.
Unless he could speed up his brain so fast that Grodd couldn't tell it was alive.
I don't know. That's the best. I guess that's as good as anybody. And also, there was absolutely no reason for Grodd to take his dead body out of the cell.
That would have been hilarious if Grodd was like, fine, just look at him.
Yeah.
Or if he ate him.
Dinner time for Gorilla. I'm with you, Zach, though. It's like, I like this episode, but there are some nitpicks.
I like Grodd. Everything else stunk.
I like seeing Gorilla City, like, even though like we didn't get to really see a lot of it, but just the aerial shots.
What about the arena?
Shot.
What about the arena?
The arena was all right.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so Barry versus Solivar. Of course, we know Barry's not going to try to kill him. But why did it take so long for Barry to throw lightning? When we see him just like...
it was even a little longer than...
We've seen him just like barely do it before, like barely move and throw lightning.
Mm-hmm.
It reminded me of, that scene in Mortal Kombat, the movie, where Sub-Zero's fighting Liu Kang.
Oh, yeah, it takes 20 minutes.
And earlier in the movie, like, he makes a quick freeze ball and freezes a guy. But for some reason, when he goes to fight Liu Kang, he takes, 20 minutes to make this freeze ball so that Liu Kang can grab a pail of water and throw it at him.
Yeah. Actually, spoiler. No.
That movie came out in 95.
I know it came out. No, but actually, what's an even better example? Even though the show was pretty decent, this is so classic. Maybe one of the Street Fighter animes, there's this one thing where Kent's trying to learn the power of Hado, and so he's charging, and I'm not kidding you, it takes 3 episodes or longer.
So it's like a Dragon Ball Z episode.
Essentially, yeah.
Oops.
And so, apparently, Solivar has telepathic powers?
I think all the gorillas do, or...
That makes no sense.
Either all the gorillas do, or that was just Grodd using the Solivar.
It was but if that's true, if Grodd can take over Solivar, why didn't he just take over Solivar?
Or maybe he didn't take him over. Maybe he was just letting him communicate through him. I don't know.
The only thing,
explain it.
The only thing I can rationalize is this: Grodd can't control all of the gorillas.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to take over and be their leader, he had to have Solivar basically fail. So he can manipulate just Solivar because he doesn't want to be like the ruler behind. He wants the credit. He wants his face out front. He wants it to be Grodd is king. So he manipulated Solivar to fight Flash and let Flash win. And once he got what he wanted, he saw, all the other gorillas see Solivar be beat. Then boom, Grodd steps in.
See, I got that. That was actually one of the few parts of the episode I liked. Because that is this is completely something Grodd would do. He is diabolical. He's a mastermind. I've never seen a bad portrayal of him. I think that's something that got really right. Is his plan and how he was. I could so see. Grodd knew that they were them like us weren't sure if he was an anti-hero or a villain, and he used that.
Mm-hmm. So, like I said, I think Grodd. That's just what my thought was. I still can't get over the fact that Barry, the man who's supposed to be able to run fast, who can punch a hole in time. Remember all that season 2 time flip-flopping? Made a time limit of himself. Can't outrun a gorilla. Like, he should be, like, running circles around the gorilla, like...
Well, I think the idea wasn't that he couldn't outrun him. It's that it doesn't, like... Well, again, yeah, if he can punch, but, like, he can't outfight him. I kind of like this when although I as much as I like the look of it when Solivar does the dust cloud thing, I'm like, does that even make sense?
Mm.
It shook the ground and everything so much. Barry had nothing to run on. Though he lost his footing, but we've seen Barry run on debris in the sky.
I think
stop a cloud.
I thought he was just choking and he couldn't breathe from the cloud.
Ooh, that too.
That's what I thought it was.
That makes better sense. I like this episode, but at the same time, I feel like the story of going to Gorilla City could have been a little bit better.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not gonna lie. It just, I don't know. It just felt like, we know it's a two-parter. They could have made it feel bigger, like a two-parter. I mean, and just made Grodd's story a little bit more simplistic. We didn't need to have all the, Grodd's trying to take over. Because how about Grodd already took over?
No.
And now the gorillas are, they kidnapped Harry to get them to Earth 1, and by Jessie escaping, she didn't realize that really Grodd wanted Cisco to come to Earth 2, so you could just use him. And all I can think about is Cisco can only open a breach big enough to move the army, bigger than their machine can.
Yeah, I was looking up the guy who's the voice of Grodd. He's got a pretty good voice acting pedigree.
Grodd.
Like too much to name. Although he has done other comic book things. He was Drax once. Well, actually, it was Drax a few times, I should say. And Lobo.
Now, let me ask you a question. So, Grodd wants Cisco to open the portal.
Yes.
I think his mic cut out.
But my question
Tune in next week to find out.
But my question is, why does he need Cisco if he had Gypsy?
I don't know. It's like, it's his backup plan.
Well, it's like, then you didn't even need to get the Flash's attention if you had Gypsy.
So,
Okay,
okay, and apparently, Barry doesn't need his mask in Earth 2, even though there is a Barry Allen on Earth 2.
Yeah, I know. Well, there is a Barry in Earth 2, remember?
That's what I said.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, I guess
that's what I mean.
But it's just the gorillas, and I mean, with Grodd's mental powers, he knows who he can know who he was, because I think even in the comics, like Solivar and the other gorillas knew who Barry was.
Oh yeah, they knew. I'm just saying, maybe because they filmed in a tropical setting. Grant was just like, I am not wearing the mask. I am hot enough. It's like, Grodd's mad about being exiled to Earth 2. Imagine that.
Yeah, I know. There was a lot of convenient stuff in this episode.
I do like when Wells is like, why is he here? When he finds out the guy has no scientific expertise.
Oh yeah, they're like, he can't remember a bank code. He's like, what? It's only 4 numbers.
And I'm like, I am completely with Wells on this. Actually, speaking of Gypsy, we should probably bring this up. What the heck is she doing there?
Exactly. I mean, the only thing I can think of is like if she showed up just randomly and Grodd kind of uses powers to control her.
That's the only thing I was thinking. The only thing that makes sense, which in other words is not what they're going to do. I mean, is that she does dimension hop, so she could have been in Earth 2 collecting a runaway or whatever, and then Grodd captured her, which is believable, makes perfect sense. So of course, probably not what they're going to do.
Yeah, I mean, well, and that's the other thing. She has to be being controlled, because otherwise, why wouldn't she just open a portal and leave?
Yeah, I think it's obvious she's being controlled. I think that he's doing that. I like the look of the gorilla armor.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Well, the fight itself was all right, and like when he had to keep, hey Barry, try this. No, try this. He's like, you're gonna have to reverse flash him. It's like, I thought he was actually gonna put his fist through him.
Well, yeah, I think that's what you're supposed to think, but I don't know. I'm like, if you don't hit anything, well, I'm surprised he didn't just use like put the fingertips through or something. But I guess like a jackhammer to the chest is gonna take him down.
Oh yeah, and one thing, it's like, one thing that kind of was weird when they're kind of like when they're saying like about killing Solivar.
Yeah,
he's like, you think you can do even a gorilla? It's like, what do you mean even a gorilla? Killing is bad, whatever it is. It's like Barry ran over a dog on the way here. Oh, it's fine.
Back? Tyler?
I thought I just heard I'm back.
Yeah, so did I. The gorillas got him.
Sorry, Tyler, we've replaced you with Charlie.
Yeah, like you do that.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. So what? Okay, we've covered. Well, I think most of the plot holes of this episode. Oh God, all these shows. I feel like a broken record says they're like that close to being something really just something, and they just I don't know what it is. I cannot. I mean, and I really hate because it's a solid cast. So much of it works, but there's just that little bit that just holds it back from it. I mean, this show is not going to be remembered in 10 years. I really don't think so.
I think so. I mean, it's good, but I think they want to do that big CGI stuff, but they're like, I don't know if the budget's there, so they have to get like creative, but it's just like...
But that should not affect the story. The writing is just the writer. It's the CW effect.
Yeah, I know. Mm-hmm.
See, I thought to myself, like, how much cooler would the crossover episode have been if it had been this? Like, just the gorillas invading instead of the Dominators, and you had to get all the heroes together to fight gorillas.
Maybe, but I mean, if it's maybe.
I want to see a multi-dimensional villain team up, like the real Legion of Doom.
Mm-hmm.
Also, what I was trying to say earlier was, why didn't Cisco just open a portal to the Apocalypse Mustafar looking planet, and that's where he could have sent Grodd and his army? Why just because Grodd wants you to open a portal to Earth 1? He don't know if you're going to Earth 1.
That's a good point.
But I just wonder if he was going to leave everyone else behind and say, okay, I'm going to walk through this portal. If I don't come back in, however long, the gorillas have orders to kill your friends.
True. But, I mean, I don't know. They could have got creative. Like, they didn't have to just be like, oh, I opened a portal for Grodd.
Yeah, what if I want to come back in 6 hours? My men have orders to eat Caitlyn.
Even better. I think he would have been better if he did the Ace Ventura thing. If I'm not back in 5 minutes, just wait longer.
It'd been funny that actually would have been cooler to do that, and then they take Grodd, and then the gorillas are going to go kill Caitlyn. And guess what? She can freeze them because nobody knows about Caitlyn's frost powers.
But she doesn't want to use she doesn't want to use her powers, though. Not a lot.
Yeah, but apparently, this time when she used her powers, Killer Frost didn't come out at all.
That's because Julian was there. Talk her down.
And I wonder how much we didn't see how much of a burst it was. Was it like a 2-3 second burst or something?
Oh God, that's another thing we didn't get to see because they had to use the CGI budget for the gorillas.
Yeah,
and I'm okay with that. I'm okay with them like doing cool creative shots to kind of like I said earlier about the Jesse and Wally running thing. I'm okay with that. But it's not they only have so much money. And frankly, I would have preferred the whole story been on Gorilla City and not even anything else that was going on.
Yeah, the whole thing with Barry and Jesse was Wally and Jesse was completely unnecessary. Because, like I said, they can dimension hop. There is absolutely nothing. Like, I'm going to stay here, but you don't have to.
Yeah,
you can whatever you want.
Well, remember, I think you made the point. It's CW. It's all that CW drama.
I mean, I know it's like that. You want to give a 2-second line like, "Oh, using the breaches weakens the fabric," or blah blah blah. That could be that would be a good explanation. But they didn't give that explanation, and they dimension hop all the time. Oh, Jessie clearly came to dimension when she needed help, so there's no reason. Damn it, there was a reason Wally couldn't have gone over and be like, "Hey, want to go have dinner?"
You know what, Zach? That's actually a good idea for a line of dialogue about. If they keep going through the breaches, it could cause a disruption that would reopen the breaches from season 2.
Mm-hmm. Or would be another good thing of that, like the time race chase people who mess with time. Although again, why they don't bother anyone else, but that's another podcast. Imagine if there's something even worse than them that focuses on the breaches, like they break like some shows that cross dimensions say there's like something in between. Imagine if there's like something that comes out of that.
Mm-hmm.
There's definitely some unique choices that could be made just to help explain why. Because, I mean, we saw Zoom in season 2 basically punch in the sky and open a breach. Barry has opened breaches by going fast, and remember when Barry was getting faster by tachyons?
Mm-hmm.
Whatever happened to that? Like,
well, is that he can time travel on his own, but doesn't he still need that speed cannon to go between dimensions if he does it himself?
Well, he was running so fast he opened one up and fell into Supergirl's Earth.
Yeah,
well, that's what he had.
Just like before, he was running so fast he time traveled on accident. Then he learned how to control it. But I'm just saying, like, they're talking about Barry getting faster and Wally getting faster. No one's talking about the tachyon device that Barry was supposed to have in his suit that, helped charge him like it did Reverse Flash.
Yep.
They're talking about wanting to beat Savitar. They need to get faster. Okay. I'm not saying anything bad about the writers of the show. I'm just saying these are the shows that people watch like with a microscope and magnifying glass. Just like when we read the comics, we're always looking for clues, looking for consistency in storytelling and continuity. Mm-hmm. If you leave out little details, man, people are going to remember. It's not like back in the day when the show aired. If you missed it, you missed it. Now, if you miss it, maybe you DVR'd it, but it's online. You can watch it then. So it's a little bit more accessible, and you don't even have to be at your house to watch it. So we can look for the clues of all these shows of what's going on.
Mm-hmm. Indeed. Is that everything?
I think I was gonna say I think I might have figured out how Jesse got through, but Grodd couldn't. Maybe if she used the speed cannon on their side, because she has super speed, she can use it. Grodd couldn't though.
Oh, there you go.
True. Good job, Phil. See, we'll rationalize everything. We'll get this figured out.
Mm-hmm. All right. So are we done then?
I believe so.
Okay. Share your thoughts with us. Did this episode drive you ape, or did you like it? Email us.
No rim shot for that one, Phil.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have a gong. You can always email us, flasharrowpodcast@gmail.com. On Facebook, follow us at facebook.com. The Flashpoint Podcast on facebook.com. Legends of DC Pod. On Twitter, we are at Flashpoint_SMG and at Legends of DC Pod. And Raven on Instagram, Legends of DC Pod. And Tyler, where can people find you in the multiverse?
In the multiverse, you can find me anywhere at JTY Patrick. You can find me over at Krypton Report, where my lovely wife Janine and I discuss Supergirl and all things super. And then you can find me on other places on Southgate, like Before the Bat. And my home is on Earth 12. You can find me there. So that's where I hang out.
And Zachary?
You, of course, can find me on Facebook and Twitter, Inch from Insanity, and also anything connected to the Inch from Insanity brand name.
And also right here on the podcast of tomorrow with his lovely wife, Charlie Esser.
Two E's in the middle for quality. You can also find me. You can also find me at Gorilla City #KillAllHumans.
Oh, jeez.
Oh wait, I'm wrong. I said that wrong. Sorry, Grodd was possessing me, and for some reason talking completely different.
Oh, jeez.
We are Black in Flash.
Oh, I just wonder if they'd give if Tom Cavanaugh makes a lot more than some of those people, because he's he has to do 20 different roles every week.
Well, maybe that's what it is. They agree with him. You can make a certain amount, but you have to look like an idiot all through this season.
Mm-hmm.
So he's like, how am I gonna look like an idiot this week? HR is barely in it. No, it's okay. You're gonna for some reason talk like this.
Yeah. All right. Well, anyway, as you can always get a hold of me, NightwingPDP @gmail.com. On Twitter, I am at NightwingPDP. Like you said, check out the other shows here. I am on Consolidated with Lilith here. Check out Before the Bat, Channel 52. And on the Marvel side, check out Enough Said. There's a lot more stuff going up there. Alright. Tyler's not kicking us out.
All right.
All right.
Tune in because we will be back in a flash.